Soon after World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union entered a political rivalry stage known as the Cold War in world history, and it was an aircraft that was considered the symbol of the Cold War. Yes, it was the plane that scared the Americans. It was the strongest weapon of the USSR. It is the plane that still holds the record for the highest altitude of flight. To learn more about this plane, continue watching our video until the end. Hello friends, welcome to a new video on Daily Aviation. Are you ready for the takeoff? Let's go! We know that you're in awe hearing about this aircraft, but the story of one of the fastest military flights is much more than these awesome facts. So, today we're going to talk about the great Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-25, the supersonic interceptor and reconnaissance aircraft. Why would Americans have feared this fighter jet? Let's explore. American fighter jets dominated the rest of the fighter planes of the world in the initial 1900s. The American supersonic B-58 bomber had the ability to deliver a nuclear strike that could defeat any anti-aircraft defense of the day. The US also had Lockheed SR-71, another powerful fighter plane that was unbeatable. But the enemy country of the United States, i.e. the Soviet Union, didn't have any other fighter planes to counter the American planes at the time. The world is spinning, and nothing is permanent. Even the Russian military's fate changed with the development of the MiG-25. The MiG-25 was created to compete with the XB-70 Valkyrie, the most powerful fighter jet in the US, and the Russian mission was a success. The MiG-25 dominated the XB-70 Valkyrie with so many secret features, and the Americans got scared. The MiG-25 was first made by the Soviet Union's Mikoyan-Gurevich Military Aviation Bureau. It was Mikhail Gurevich's final aircraft before his retirement. MiG-25 has an operational top speed of Mach 2.83, which is more than the velocity of the sound. Although it had enough thrust to travel at Mach 3.2+, its speed was constrained. This fighter plane had many advantages and special features. One unique feature of this aircraft was its airframe, which had never been seen before in fighter aviation designs. Thin wings with a low aspect ratio and a trapezoidal shape, twin tail fin, and lateral intakes with horizontal intake ramps were the key peculiarities of MiG-25. The aircraft is equipped with two engines, which are positioned towards the aircraft's rear fuselage area. Because of this unique design geometry, the aircrafts achieved various speed records and remarkable maneuverability at the time. And for the very first time in fighter jet history, MiG-25 had the ability to target in a semi-automatic mode. This technology had to be included in the airplane because the close-in speeds at which human reflexes could not keep up. The military fled engines are too powerful, and while flying at very high speeds, the engine temperature would reach around 750 degrees Fahrenheit. To withstand these high temperatures, Russian engineers used stainless steel to craft the parts of the MiG-25. The MiG-25 was constructed from 80% nickel steel alloy, 11% aluminum, and 9% titanium. Besides these technical peculiarities, MiG-25 is also renowned for its records in aviation. The airplane claimed 29 records, and several of them still stand. It's not surprising that this plane was the nightmare of the United States. But friends, the plot of the story again changes. The Soviet Union's MiG-25 got into the hands of the rivals. How? Though American intelligence tried a lot to find the secrets behind the MiG-25 features, they failed. But in 1976, the West understood the abilities of the fighter jet. Are you excited to hear more about aviation stories like this? Don't forget to hit the bell icon for more exciting videos. If you wish to be a member of our family, to subscribe to our channel. Lieutenant Viktor Belenko, a pilot of the MiG-25, didn't return to the air station during a training attack on September 6, 1976. It was like he vanished along with the flight. The officials finally arrived at a decision that they got crashed into the ocean. But with his jet in tow, Belenko was on his way to a new life. Belenko landed in Japan with the jet. The Japanese Air Force officers were really surprised to see that because it was not an ordinary fighter plane. It was the Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-25. The most feared and mysterious warplane in the West is now in the hands of the West. Yes, guys, you should believe that Viktor Belenko intentionally did this to fly to America via Japan. Viktor Belenko always had a thought in his mind about whether the Americans were as evil as the Soviet Union portrayed, and from this notion, he builds the plan to escape to the US with the MiG-25. Belenko's Master Plan. On September 6, 1976, Lieutenant Viktor Belenko arrived at a briefing meeting to review that day's flight plans at Primorski Air Base. It is the Soviet Union area nearest to the Sea of Japan. The crew was planning to fly over the sea to meet up with the Soviet Navy ships. Several aircrafts from the squadron were scheduled to fly east over the area to link up with the Soviet Navy ships. Target drones would then be launched from the ships, allowing the airplanes to rehearse with their missiles. After taking it off with other pilots, Belenko broke the formation and flew directly towards Japan while staying as low as 100 feet to avoid both Soviet and Japanese radars. When Belenko entered the Japanese aviation boundary, he took up the plane to 20,000 feet to get noticed by the Japanese officials. His plans worked, and he landed the MiG-25 in Japan. After several minutes, when the officials approached Belenko, he revealed his intentions to escape into America. The Japanese officers weren't fools. They now had the most secretive military airplane the Soviet Union had ever made under their control. So, as he planned, Japan helped Belenko to go to America. In return for the favor, they already got the reward. Plus, the Japanese airport became a hive of American intelligence activities. For further inspections, on September 25th, the aircraft was disassembled and flown to Japanese Air Force Base by a cargo plane. At the airbase, the U.S. military officers, engineers, and scientists inspected every piece of the fighter jet, and at last, they unveiled the mystery. Its enormous radar, which was formerly considered the most modern in the field, was years behind American models. Even though its components were outdated, the materials used to make it almost jam-proof gave it an advantage over American radars at the time. Another concern for Americans was the two massive engines of the MiG-25. Scientists soon realized that the wind's force would be so great when flying above 2,000 miles per hour that it would begin consuming the engine's own parts. Thus, they found that the MiG-25 could never achieve its theoretical speed of Mach 3.2. The greatest fear of the West got faded after knowing the secrets of the MiG-25. What happened to Viktor Belenko afterward? Did he escape to the US, or was he shot by the Soviet Union for cheating? What did Americans do with the MiG-25 after knowing all its secrets? We have answer for all of these. Let's see. Lieutenant Viktor Belenko never returned to the Soviet Union. He got American citizenship and returned for the MiG-25. There, Belenko became an aeronautical engineer and consultant for the American Air Force. He married a North Dakota music teacher and had a son. Once American intelligence had obtained all of the information it required about the MiG-25, it was disassembled and loaded into a boat for its return to Russia, along with a $40,000 charge for shipping fees. When Belenko landed the plane in Japan, it damaged the runway. The amount for runway repair was also charged to the Soviet Union. Anyway, the Americans didn't return the fighter jet with zero defects. They played their cards. Upon the arrival of the MiG-25, Soviet experts noted some damage on the aircraft systems and avionics, including the radar, which had visible foreign fuses attached to it. Due to this, the mighty MiG-25 was not able to be used as such. The ministries of the military and aircraft industry took firm steps to upgrade the aircraft and its security standards. 2.5 years after Belenko's defection, it was modified with new features and entered production under the name MiG-25PD. The Soviet Air Force also built 1,000 additional models. Because of Viktor Belenko's defection, the MiG-25 was no longer considered a top-tier superplane, and for Americans, it became a paper tiger. Anyways, the MiG-25 is not retired yet. It is still in limited service. So, friends, the MiG-25 story was so interesting as a film plot, right? For more exciting stories about the aircraft, refer to other videos on our channel. Let us know in the comments your views on the mighty MiG-25. We hope you find the video exciting. If so, click on the subscribe tab and enable the notifications for our updates. Also, hit the thumbs up and show some love. Goodbye!